3 sales tips that are guaranteed to grow your business. Stick around to the end if you want to grow. All right, everybody, you know the drill. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and hit the bell to get notifications of new videos as soon as they drop. We're in it. It's an exciting time. The leads, the new people, the excitement of our industry is here. Even if you're just mowing grass and doing fertilizer and you're not doing big projects and you haven't actually started them yet, people are already just calling and calling and calling for that, and it's just my most favorite, most exciting time. You come out of the dormant winter and you run into the spring, which is just endless amounts of work, everything you want, and it just can't get any more exciting. So today I thought we should talk about something that was so powerful, and this is 3 sales tips that are guaranteed to grow your business. So the first one, number one sales tip is be friendly and accommodating. You know, I can't stress enough that when you meet someone, when you're in sales or someone's coming to your house to offer you a service, give you a quote on something, if they rub you the wrong way, if they're not friendly, if they're not approachable, if they've got cigarette breath, if they've got bad breath, if they're just all around awkward, it makes it so much harder. Sales, making a connection in sales with someone takes you so far. If you can make a connection on a project, on some kind of service with that customer and then offer them your awesome service, your chances of getting the work, getting the accepted work is so much higher. And I see so many people that, you know, their approach, I've always been very concerned with how I'm talking, my enthusiasm, my certainty, all of these things. Certainty goes a long way with this conversation, because when you're presenting and you're talking to someone, kind of like I'm talking to you right now, I could be like this and excited with enthusiasm, or I could be shoulders forward, down, like this, a lot of looking down, no eye contact. And you're going to get a whole different experience. You know, that like something that I've known and I've learned that you can catch on from this is listen to my voice. You know, your voice sounds different if you smile or if you don't smile. So this is me not smiling and this is me smiling. It changes the way your vocal cords make noise. It's crazy. People can hear a smile on the phone. That's why it's so important to smile while you're talking. Plus, it helps your attitude in general. It's really hard to smile and be mad at the same time. But so that's tip number 1. Be friendly, be accommodating. Just look at all those things, you know, your dress, your cleanliness, everything that could push someone away. You're in sales. That's what you're focusing on. You need to get all of those out of the way. You need to be friendly. You need to be smiling. You need to be their answer man. That's what they called you for here today. And your answer man or woman, that's what they called you here for today. And they don't want someone that's just, they're going to go on to the next person, because there's a lot of people out there in sales that are good with sales, that want to get the sales. And it's not even being a greasy, slimy salesperson. They know the opportunity is there and they want to take it, and they're excited and they're enthused for it. Step number 2 is listen to their needs. I see this all the time. It's crazy, but it's listen to their needs. People called you to tell you what their issue is. You know, a lot of us can get very opinionated about the things, especially when we get to a job that we know what they're wanting is all wrong. This isn't right. We shouldn't be doing this. They're going down the wrong path. But they called you to listen to their needs. So you need to be doing more listening than talking. You need to sometimes be asking for approval, for suggestions. You know, if they're going on about this thing they want, and you might say, ma'am, while we're right here talking about this, sir, while we're right here talking about this, could I please give you some suggestions or my thoughts before we move on to something else, so I don't forget this? You know, there's a lot of things that you can do to make this conversation better. And number 1 is just listen. They called you to talk to you. You're the professional. And even though you're the professional, they didn't call you to just have you come in and run over them, give them your idea, spit them an estimate, and move on to the next appointment or meeting. So listen to the customer. They called to talk to you. They called to tell you what is going on with their service or what they need, or basically they've got a problem and they called you to fix it, but they want to be able to tell you about it and tell you about it 100%. They don't want to be ran over while they're trying to explain their issue to you. This is huge. This is a huge thing that I see all the time. And just prefacing on this, people want to talk to you and they want to tell you things about themselves. It's so powerful that customers and people in general want to talk. I know sometimes I like talking about business and I want to talk about our business, and not a bragging thing. I love talking about it, just like someone loves talking about their family, or just like someone loves talking about their job. Like, people just want to talk about their things. It's just how we are. So another thing to initiate these conversations and keep people talking while you're thinking or doing anything else to make a sales process smoother is ask them, hey, what do you do for a living? So now you can take that in. You can be very intent, but if there's some things you were trying to process, or if I'm ever starting to write stuff down, I'll make small talk and I'll ask them things about themselves so I can get more answers and I can continue doing what I'm doing. There's no quiet, weird void. They can continue talking about themselves and telling me what's going on, and I can learn more about that customer. Now, for the coolest, for the biggest, step number 3, the one that I told you to stick around to the end to, the one that I told you to stick around to the end for, and that is when you're on an appointment. Now, this isn't important with mowing and fertilizing and little tiny services, which those are all great services. I'm not knocking any of those services. But when you're going and doing big jobs, and when you're setting up bigger jobs, and these could be any range, just something that takes multiple appointments and maybe a design and then a presentation. So when you're setting up stuff like that, the most powerful tip, and I'm not saying you do this with everybody, but as you get better at sales, you'll learn when you're talking to someone who is a very potential customer or potential client, who the people that this is going to move forward with, that you need to get moved on and get them taken care of because they're your ideal client. That's who you want to be working with, as your ideal client. And this tip is set your second appointment on the site. Set that expectation before you even leave your first appointment. So I'm going to ask you to get out whatever it is you use to plan, or even if you don't know, set a date, because you can always call them and reschedule it. It's no big deal. But before you leave that first appointment, set your second appointment. The most powerful thing. You're taking this first appointment and now you're setting expectation of, this is great. I've got all your information. This looks like we can get this together really quick, Mr. Jones. And I wanted to see, so what I want to do here is I'm going to have this together. I'm going to get you your design. Today's Monday. I'd like to meet you in my office on Friday or at your house on Friday. What works best for you? And 2 and 3 o'clock are open for me. So now you're setting an expectation with them, and you're setting it to close the project. Now you're creating a time where you're going to be doing your presentation and your closing, and you're moving the ball down the court. Otherwise, you're just leaving it completely open and you're just out on the field wandering around. So that's step number 3. That's tip number 3. It's powerful. Use it. It will change your business. It has changed ours. All of these tips, all of this stuff, sales and marketing is what grows a business. Without sales, there is no business. Even when you're all alone, even when you're a one-man band in a lawn care business, I did it. I was there. Without the sales, there is no business. It's just you wear all the hats then. If you want to have a bigger business, you still need to be able to focus on sales. You need to be able to be even better at it. Honestly, when you go into business, you give away the right to be Mr. Good at the services, Mr. Good at being a technician, and you become a person who needs to sell stuff, to keep food on everybody's plates, to grow the business, to keep food on your family's plates, and to make everyone's lives better. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed this. This has been super powerful. I love talking about sales. Sales is a passion of mine. I love meeting with people. As I go on in business, I realize that this is my favorite part. I don't like doing the estimates. I don't like doing the measurements. I kind of like doing the designs and some of the stuff. I love the work, but there's too much of it and I can't always be out there in it. But truly meeting with someone and getting that customer interaction and talking with the customer and figuring out how we're going to solve their problems and give them an awesome place to live is one of my biggest passions. So I wanted to share this with you and some tips that have helped us just explode our sales. So follow us on Facebook, YouTube, of course, Snapchat, and Instagram. Everyone will talk to you soon. Have a great day.